Stop looking in the limiting beliefs, because that's all you know. That is literally all you know. I'm sorry you hear the tapping. I'm tapping on some wood. But it is so hard to stop looking at the limiting beliefs or limiting systems, I guess. I don't know what to call them. Keep on repeating myself with limiting beliefs, but I want to call them something else. Like limiting, I don't know, limiting rules, limiting society, rules that we have been pushed into our whole life. And then when you actually look at it and when you grow up, like in high school, you think you have to be in a separate group. Like you have to be with the jocks, or you have to be with sports people, smart people, emo people, like just separated people, you know? But, and it makes you think that you only choose one, but you can choose all of them. And it makes you feel like because of like this ego thing, that you feel like, oh, I have to be one and I have to be proud of it. It just makes you feel, or like, let's say if you're a nerd in high school, you're a nerd in high school and you think you could only be a nerd and you could never hang out with the cool kids, or you could never, cool kids, that just makes me laugh, but you could never hang out with people your age, or like even join a sport. That is all wrong. You just have a limiting belief in yourself that you're always going to be a nerd and that's all you'll ever be. That is wrong. That is not even close to who you are. And it's funny because you're going to be like, you'll be like a nerd your whole entire life, but that's not who you are. And people will know you as that. You will know yourself as that, but you'll never know who you are, because society told you you're a nerd because you're sensitive and you're introverted, but that's not. You might be sensitive and introverted, but that's not who you are. Those are just traits of you, and it can be so dumbed down, and then you'll just be like that for the rest of your life. A nerd, a nerd who doesn't hang out with many people, play sports, or do anything to put themselves out there. But that's just wrong. I think that's just, it's wrong. But it could really mess with people's brains. And just like the nerd thing, you could be stuck in there for your whole entire life, and you could never, and this goes for any genre. It could be for like someone that's super extroverted, and people expect them to be super extroverted all the time, but it's not just happening. That's not gonna. And some people do be extroverted, but I'm talking about the ones that are extroverted but also introverted, and people are just expected, and they themselves are expected to be introverted the whole entire time, when that's not the case for them. That's not the case for them at all. And they just live unhappy. Because why? Because a lot of people have told them, or have looked at them for being extroverted only. But yeah, I think it is very hard to get out of that mindset. We explain why, because obviously, whole life, you've been told that. But I want to talk about reasons, I want to talk about how you could get out of that mindset, because I personally have been in my whole entire life with the same people. You know how society goes. Like, I have personally been with a family who has been like that, and a society who's been like that. I feel like everybody, especially in the US, they're more like that, to really just put a label on you and you can't switch anything. Or especially where I'm from, it just you stick to that one, and it's not even people telling you, it's just what it is, and like what it is. And if you do that, you're different and you're weird. But anyways, but personally, I have been through that. I've been a nerdy kid who was sensitive, introverted, and now I feel like I'm becoming more of like a complex character, rather than just like a nerdy kid who sits there and doesn't have any feelings or anything. I don't know. It's fun to see people kind of interact with us, because they think that's just who you are, but there's so much more deeper in a person than just how they show up. And it's crazy that people think other people or themselves are superficial, but it's not how it works. And that is just like it just makes me go crazy that people think that there's so much more to a person, especially if they're quiet and they're low. And then if people talk a lot, you could see them for who they are within their words or in their actions, in the way they speak. So I think that's just it. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this. I just wanted to post it online because I know I'm not the only one feeling this. Like, as soon as you choose different direction and not to be that person, you realize that, oh, I am actually not happy here, and I'm not happy with feeling like I'm always a nerd, or I'm feeling sensitive, or I'm always the one to talk. Like, sometimes I just don't want to do that. And then you start kind of basing yourself off that. You start to do things you actually love to do, or you would do, rather than the other choice. Like, for me, it was joining a sport. It felt like more of like a large shift in my life, because it's not just because of a sport, but even joining a random sport. Like, it's okay if you don't like it at all, but it makes new conversations and you meet new people and you work different, because it's a coaches actually coach you and direct you, and sometimes you'll react different, and then that will just trigger something in you to, like, oh, see life different. It doesn't even have to be about the sport, but just be about different people with different conversations that just trigger you and think a little more outside the box. I just, like, even different routines, or different hobbies you might want to try, or different places you might want to go. And when you go to those places, you might find different people and find different conversations to talk about. For all you know, you don't even know, you might even find a piece of yourself there. You might even carry something with you. You don't know, because you don't know yourself. Society hasn't taught, or not, society hasn't showed us how to be with ourselves and how to find ourselves. You might find yourself in a conversation, in a music piece, like a music song, a play, a teacher. And it could be in school, it could be anything. The possibilities are endless. You can find yourself anywhere, anytime. And it's just crazy. Many other material things, and even emotionally, they could all help you. They're like tools to find yourself. Think of this world as tools to find yourself, and that's your only goal in life, is to find yourself. And how would you find yourself? Like, there's so many ways to find yourself, and even if you find yourself, you're never over. This whole life is just discovering yourself even more. There's not one thing where it stops, like, oh, I found myself. No, it just keeps on going. You find yourself, you learn, you grow. Sometimes it sucks so bad that you might want to, but really bad, I think usually that just happens with childhood trauma, but honestly, I don't know. Many situations don't happen that, but I think it's just, finding yourself and growing is really kind of like the main purpose. Well, that's my main purpose. I don't know. But just find for a purpose that you look for. Find a purpose that you grow for and you actually look up to, because that will make your life a lot more better. Have a goal, especially if you want to inspire someone, find the people that you want to inspire. Children, adults who have the creative mind, but they don't have their push. They don't have somebody to mentor. I don't care who it is, just find that person, or find that thing, or find that feeling that you love when you actually do it. But yeah, it's just hard. And you may have trials and tribulations, is that how you say it? Trials and failures every single step of the way, but that's the whole point of life. You're supposed to grow from those trials and those tribulations. You're supposed to grow from those failures. You're supposed to grow. It's okay if you fell at your thing that you wanted to do. You tried, and that was it. You tried, and you tried to do it, and you love when you did it. That's all that matters. That's all it literally matters. Forget the ego part, like, oh, my reputation is ruined or anything. No. You tried and you did, and it didn't work out, and that's okay. Maybe you could try again, even if you really want it to work out. Try again, find better stuff to do it with, find better technology, find better stats or whatever, find better information, research, and go from there. That's it. That's it. Don't care about your reputation. Don't care about what your family or your parents or your friends might think or your lover might think. They could all go sit over there and watch you try and fail. But one day you're gonna go and you're gonna step up, and then you're actually gonna start. And what are they gonna do? What? They're gonna say, they can't say, I told you so. No. Some people will just fake it, and some people will just leave you and be all butthurt about it. Okay, I love you. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this, if you actually listen to this all the way.